It is absolutely my honor and pleasure to introduce our speaker this morning. I first met her, it was, I think, in 2009. I had been asked by the Reverend Dr. Mary Tompkins to speak at POT in New Orleans. And I saw this young woman running around and doing stuff and being powerful, and she taught with some other young women and men at a session. What do you call that session?
A writer's workshop?
It was something really good. But all I remember is, because then I was a minister, and I'm saying, whoa, this is a good thing. She spoke well, she was exuding the principle, she was exuding joy. And later I came to meet her at Understanding Principles in Los Angeles. Of course, Reverend Della Ruiz found and brought her in and taught her and guided her. And so we know she was guided just right. Is that right? Yeah. And then she went through all the things that us ministers at UFBL go through, and she became a licensed UFBL minister. All the way, all the way to rise to now the senior minister at Understanding Principles, or Up Church in Los Angeles, California. And she's doing phenomenal things. You know, you walk into a place where somebody else has been, ask Reverend Dr. Wells about that. You've got to do some phenomenal things because the foundation is firm. But there's a future to go to. And the people who laid the foundation would want you to do those things to take you into that future. And she has done it. And by the way, along the way, she has decided to become a published author. Along with so many other things. Those of you who hang out with her on Thursday night, we know that she's a Bible scholar. She's all of so many, many things. Most of all, her most important recent accomplishment is being a keynoter at the Gold Rush Women's Conference. But in all seriousness, I want you to get ready. Pull your notes out, get your paper out, because she does not play with principle. She teaches it, but most importantly, Reverend Sherri James, she lives it. Put your hands together for Reverend Sherri James.
Christ Universal Temple, are you ready for the overflow? So I want you to join me in this, because I'm a singing person, I'm a dancing person, I like to move. So if that's all right with you, I kind of made this up this morning. But as I was preparing, I was like, I'm ready for the overflow. I'm ready for the overflow. I'm moving in the overflow. I'm moving in the overflow. I'm ready for the overflow. I'm ready for the overflow. I'm moving in the overflow. I'm moving in the overflow. I'm ready for the overflow. I'm ready for the overflow. I'm moving in the overflow. I'm moving in the overflow. Yes. As I think about 7 years and just being here to honor my brother and my sister, I just love you guys. You know, when I walked in the office, well, first of all, when I got out of the car and I pulled up, I felt like somebody said, "Welcome to Wakanda." Like it just, the excellence was just all over everywhere. And I think it was Fred that said to me, "Welcome home to the Mother Church," but I really heard you say, "Wakanda." We are on a forward march. I know, CUT, you got the promised land in your crosshairs, and you are not stopping till you cross that river Jordan, chunking deuces to the wilderness. There is a space in the land of milk and honey with your name on it. And you ain't stopping until you enjoying life in the overflow. You know, as you bask in the euphoria of 7 years of progress, let us not forget that everyone smiling may not be having the over-the-top wonderful experience that some of us seem to be having. Some people might be in the fight of their lives. Things may have gotten so tough that they don't know when things will turn around. And so the question that I came to answer today is, what do you do when you are working every principle? You are beating back fear and doubt. You are doing everything that every JCI teacher told you to do, and things still don't seem to be working out. You watching all the testimonies happening around you, and you wondering, when, Lord? When? And so I came with a message for you. God sent me to tell you that it's your turn. It's your turn. I got one mission today, and that's to help you shift your energy so that you can receive the good that is pressing in all around you, that God so desperately wants to press into you and through you. See, sometimes we can be so close up on a situation that we can't see how we're keeping it alive. It's so hard to see ourselves, ain't it? You know, we're like those people, you know, who become nose blind to the smells in their house. You know, you come in and you smell something, but they don't. You know, they become nose blind. And they've been living in it so long that what you notice feels normal. And sometimes we can be so deep in our own mess that we become nose blind to it. Someone from the outside can look at us and see how we're talking money right out of our lives, keeping ongoing conflicts alive, flinging the door wide open for illness. But we've become nose blind to it. And so what I have for you today is a spiritual Febreze treatment. We're going to air out that consciousness. Going to let it go. And really, the truth is that there's hope. Now, I'm going to give you some verses. You can write them down. I know we looked them up on our phones. I don't know what your reception is going to be, but I'm going to keep moving because I don't want to miss my time. John 8:58. John chapter 8:58. This is why you have hope. Jesus says, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am." Now, Jesus is speaking about himself personally, but he's also not speaking about himself exclusively. He is revealing to you and me a truth about humankind. Before Abraham was, I am. So I want to locate I am for you because, let me help you with that. I am is the non-physical essence of you. It is the aspect of you that is unbounded by time and space. It is the aspect of you that can speak without audible words, hear without physical ears, see without natural eyes, touch without the aid of hands, and smell without an actual nose. I am is the aspect of you that when you're writing a song and you get stuck, and then you get up and you go do something else, and all of a sudden it comes to you what you need to do to go forward. I am. I am is nearer to you than your own breath, and yet it is unbounded by time and space. Before Abraham was, I am. So everything Jesus said about himself, I can say about myself. So can you say that with me? Before Abraham was, I am. And so this non-material aspect of you is the real you. I am is the law of your being. So when we're talking about working with the law, we're talking about working with I am. Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore calls I am God's name in man, the indwelling Christ, the true spiritual man whom God made in his image and likeness. Name means nature. I am then is God's nature or essence in you. When you pray, you commune with God's nature or essence in you. Another way to define I am is the unconditioned awareness of being. The unconditioned awareness of being. To be conditioned means that, or to be unconditioned means that it has not taken on any kind of shape. As unconditioned awareness, I am takes no form. It remains shapeless until an imagination touches it and turns it into something. The unconditioned awareness of being remains in a state of becoming, and then no matter what it becomes, it can always become more. Yes, because that's your hope of glory. Babies, when they are born, are unconditioned. They've got a few fundamental functions. They can eat, sleep, and eliminate. You thought I was going to say poop. Other than that, they're completely unconditioned. Right? And so over their lifetime, they become conditioned by family, teachers, friends, culture, society, their choices, the consequences of those choices. Let's go now to John chapter 1, verse 1. The word, just so you know before we get started, in these verses is translated as from the Greek word logos. But in English, the word loses the full weight of its original meaning. So logos does not simply mean word. A more appropriate definition would be an expression of an idea or an expressed idea. And so we're dealing with the creative, life-giving, revealing activity of God. In the beginning was the expression of an idea, and that expressed idea was with God, and the expressed idea was God. And so I think it's important that we understand what ideas are, because ideas are formless, shapeless, infinite concepts unbounded by time and space. And so this is why in New Thought, when we speak about the kingdom of God, we talk about it as the realm of divine ideas. And so when we say that God begot a son, because we know that only like begets like, then God begot an idea. That the only Son of God is an idea, and we name it the Christ, and it has been given to us as an irrevocable gift. It's just who you are. We follow Jesus because as we understand him, he is the one who fully realized his I am. He showed what it looked like to get into conscious communication with I am and stay there. Hello. We can get there, but can you stay there? I can get to that, Shirley, I love your word. I can get to that trance, but can I hold that focus when I come out of it? That's the work. And so what John 1 and 3 explains is I am God's expressed idea as a spiritual law. And this is what it says. Through him all things were made. Without him, nothing was made that has been made. In other words, everything you see unfolded into expression according to the law that governs the part of you that sees without eyes, hears without ears, smells without a nose, tastes without a tongue, and touches without hands. There's a law. And this is what the law is. First you see it, and then you become it. First you see it, and then you become it. And so I'm ready for the overflow. I'm ready for the overflow, because if I can see it, then I can be it. Y'all not properly impressed. See, without this sequence of seeing it and then being it, there was not anything that was made. Everything you see in this world stands atop an I am statement. And somebody held it until it became flesh. I am, the unconditioned awareness of being, gets conditioned by whatever you put next to it. It's like spiritual tofu. By itself, it has no flavor. But if you put it with chicken, it tastes like. You put it with eggs, it tastes like. I am has no form, no texture, no color until I put something next to it. And so I'm bold enough to say, I am rich. I am wealth. I am joy, right? And as I hold on to it, by a process unknown to me, skin begins to add itself to whatever I have put next to it. Before Abraham was, yes. And so today we are each conditioned awareness. We are conditioned to look the way that we look, talk the way that we talk, think the way that we think, feel the way that we feel, act the way that we act. And so John 1:3 tells us how this happened. All things came into being through I am, and without I am, not one thing came into being. I am who I am because of how I used I am. And so I am mother, I am pastor, I am entrepreneur, I am speaker, I am world traveler. Let's go on and make it good. I am rich, I am billionaire. Come, you can just put any word there. I had this idea that, the scripture says, delight yourself in the Lord being the law being I am. Delight yourself in I am. And I was thinking, when I delight myself in Jordan, I figure out what he likes, right? And I know he loves, right now it's all about Power Rangers. The fastest way for me to get kicked to the curb is for Power Rangers to come on. And not just any Power Rangers, the one that's the Dino Charge Power Rangers, right? And so when I delight myself in him, I watch the episode with him. And he is infatuated with the golden Power Rangers, so me too. Because I'm interested in what he's interested in. And so I thought it might help for you to know, well, what is I am interested in? Well, I am likes words. I am likes words, the same way that Jordan likes Power Rangers. And so when I talk about delighting myself in the Lord, it's like, God, we're going to play at the word game today. I'm going to hold the word love, and I'm going to see what you bring to me. And then I'm going to set my timer because, I'm not really good. I get going in my day. Maybe not like you. I need reminders. Right? So I'm going to set my timer every hour on the hour, and I'm just going to sit for just 2-3 minutes up in the space of love and just see what you bring me, because you love ideas and you love words. I give you what you love, God. This is the good part. See, so touch your neighbor, tell them this is the part you need to hear. all of me has not been conditioned. There is a part of me that remains unconditioned, and it's the most important part. And so because I am timeless. As I am unbounded by time and space. Because I am always in a state of becoming. Through I can tap into the unconditioned part of me that has never been conditioned and become what I've never been. So no matter how dark it seems, I always have hope for positive change because I am. The unconditioned part of me makes all things possible to me. It enables me to think beyond where I am and go where I've never been and see what I've never seen. The Apostle Paul called this I am your hope of glory. Colossians 1:27, he says, to them, God chose to make known how great among the Gentiles are the riches of the glory of this mystery. Christ in you, the hope of glory. It's this mystery that there is this non-physical part of me, that I'm bounded here in this body, right? I can't be in California right now because I'm physically here, but I've got this part of me that can get up out of this room and go back to California, right? Even though I don't leave this body. And this is the good part. Oh my God, I'm getting ahead of myself. This is that law. And so you might be in a situation where you feel like you are stuck. And what you need to remember is that you are not. The real me can travel galaxies. I might be walking with a cane today, but I can see myself without it. I might only be driving a hoopty today. Oh, but that ain't what I got to feel like when I'm in the car. I might have problems in my body, but it's me that my cells listen to. And so I can get in the mirror and talk to me. Every cell in my body is well. You don't have permission to not look like God up in my body. You don't have permission to not feel like God in my head. I am, before Abraham was, I am. In the 14th chapter of John, 1st through the 4th verse, Jesus, talking to his disciples, said, do not let your hearts be troubled. In my Father's house are many dwelling places. If it were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you? And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and will take you to myself, so that where I am, there you may be also. And so for Paul, this was the greatest mystery. That within you lies your hope of glory. Within you lies the ability to imagine a thing and then become the thing imagined. And so when you know this, you are free. Nothing can hold you. You know that where you are is temporary. So when you go to work tomorrow, just walk in smiling. When they ask you why you smiling, say, darling, this ain't what God showed me. I know I won't be here too long. Because I got a part of me that's unconditioned, and I have given it something to play with. So you should enjoy me while you can. Because you're going to miss me when I'm gone. This is why Paul was so excited When he says in the Colossians 1:29, for this I toil and struggle with all the energy that powerfully inspires me. And then in Philippians, he says, this one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind, straining forward to what lies ahead, I press on toward the mark of the heavenly prize of God in Christ Jesus. I see something in my mind's eye. I'm not stuck where I am. I can be more than I have ever been, so I'm not worried. Because where I am is temporary. And everything begins with an idea. All I need is an idea. I'm ready for the overflow. Ready for the overflow. I'm moving in the overflow. Moving in the overflow. You've got to feed your I am new ideas. And let me talk about idea for just a moment, Ideas are the most powerful force in the universe. Everything begins with them. Ideas are primary and they produce everything. Ideas are more powerful than death. This country is ruled by the ideas of dead men. The idea of democracy is a Greek idea put forth by Socrates. We're still working with it. Some of the biggest fights in our country today are over the ideas put forward when our Constitution was written. Our brothers and our sisters are being arrested just going to a coffee shop because of an idea that's just run amok. Ideas cannot be destroyed. They get submerged and then they reemerge in cultures. You can't shoot an idea with a bullet. And the reason that you can't kill an idea is because ideas bring life. And that life is eternal. John 4:1-5 says, what has come into being in I am was life. And the life was the light of all people. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. You live within the light of the ideas that you hold. If you truly want to change your life, you have to change the ideas that you are feeding I am. You have to change the ideas that you are taking into your mind. So you can't talk to everybody. Shirley, what you say yesterday? You inherit the destiny of the people that you hang out with. Some of the things some of y'all thinking I can't afford to bring into my mind. I've got to go into the tunnel because that's somewhere that God is taking me. I've seen the stadiums with thousands of people. I've seen the stadiums with thousands of people and say, if I'm listening for your implicit bias, I can't listen for the voice of God. I can't do both. I can't do both. And so the last thing I want to leave you with is, how do you work with an idea, right? How do you get the light out of the idea? You put words to it. As you speak the idea, you release the light of the idea into the atmosphere. I am rich. I am whole. I am complete. I am made in the image likeness. See, Jesus gave us what we needed to say. I am the door. I am the true vine. I am the good shepherd. There was a movie with Audrey Hepburn, and she was going to become a nun, and her father was taking her to the convent. And when they sat down at the desk and they were filling out the paperwork, then the mother superior, who had to go do something, so she gets up, and the father turns to her and says, now she is what you call a living rule. That if they burned down this entire convent, they would be able to rebuild it based on how she lives her life. Can they say that about you? What would be able to be rebuilt if it did get burned down? Each of us has this internal thermostat. We've got limits that govern how much we're willing to have in our lives. And so even though I am makes me unlimited, all my conditioning anchors me. But I've got this unconditioned part of me. And that is my greatest hope. That I can tap in to the best part of me and become what I have never been before. I don't need a precedent. Nobody has to have done it before. The means for it don't even have to exist. I can go into myself and commune with myself. And if I'm bold enough and daring enough, I can bring it out into expression. They tell me my movies don't travel overseas. Fine, I'll make it the #3 movie in the world. Come on. What can you do? They tell me no woman that looks like me has ever directed a $100 million movie. It's already out now. There doesn't need to be a precedent. I only have to decide that it is who I am. I only have to say that I am that. And you can gerrymander, you can pass laws, you can roll back policies on discriminatory lending, you can try to block my children, take resources out of schools. Oh, but I am that. I am that. I am that. You don't hold me. You can't hold me down. What you playing with? Oh, you playing with man's rules? Oh, sorry for you, dear. I'm working with I am because I know who I am. Do you know who you are? Do you understand who you are? Do you know what you are carrying? Oh, I got a future, and you ain't got nothing to do with it. Woo! I'm ready for the overflow. I'm moving in the overflow. Ready for the overflow. You can't hold me. You can't. I wish you would. See, you don't know how this universe works. What you think you do to me, you do to you. Oh, you don't want to have compassion for my babies that are dealing with crack? Fine, let meth come. Come on. God bless you.